Welcome back, and many thanks for staying with us here on the news. To one of the stories making the headlines all through the week, Accra's daily traffic gridlock is no longer just an inconvenience. It has become a test of government policy planning and political will. As commuters spend hours stuck on overcrowded roads, questions are growing louder about whether existing transport policies are easing the crisis or deepening it. From mass promises to weak enforcement and institutional overlaps, Accra's transport problem exposes the gap between policy intentions and the realities on the streets. Let's now speak to Manuel Mensah. He's a transport researcher and a Humboldt fellow. Mr. Mensah, thank you very much for your time tonight. You've been following this situation here in Accra. What's been your assessment of it and all the commentaries from the various stakeholders?
Yeah, that's a good evening, and thank you for having me on this. When I saw the news, I was like, wow, it's 2025, 2026, and we're still having this type of conversations. Given that somewhere, I think late last year, between September and October, this came up again, and we ended up making noise about it. And here we are again, beginning of the new year, thinking everything is going to be new, and we are still talking about this thing. So I think it's about time we first and foremost recognize the importance of transport in our economy, because, I mean, give and take, we all move for various social and economical reasons, right? So if you don't make the integral bit of your economy viable or efficient, then we are going to keep having challenges such as these. And I mean, it's 2026, as I said, and we don't even have like a working BRT system. Our policies, it will surprise you to know that even our policies are not streamlined to support these kind of things. They are just stated, but they are not binding. So any government comes in is not willing to implement these things. And trust me, I can bet you before the year ends, we would have this discussion again, because sincerely, I don't see the way forward with some of the implementations and the measures I've heard. I think yesterday there was a meeting with the transport operators, and I heard task forces are being deployed to go make sure that people are charging the right fares. But let's see, why would the government spend $2 million on a project, on a BRT project, and pack the buses only to act as like backups when the private sector is misbehaving or goes on strike? These are questions we should be asking ourselves if we are being serious about our transport system. I mean, I'm seeing the current images on the screens, and it's quite pathetic. Why should people be going to work tired and close back from work tired? Then we are reducing productivity. But when it comes to developed countries like Germany, like France, where there's an efficient transport system, trust me, you don't have to go through the stress to get to wherever you are going to. And
right.
Yes, children in Accra are also stressed, and it's kind of affecting their academic performances. So every year we complain, yeah, BC results are dropping and all that, but have we considered that children have to leave home as early as 4 a.m. to be able to beat traffic to get to school? And then when they get to school, they are tired. And then when they close, they have to stay in long hours, like stay in traffic for long hours to be able to. And it's sad how you see children in their uniforms still sleeping in cars, and they get home and they have to do their homeworks, and it's quite pathetic.
Right. Manuel, as a researcher, as you mentioned, there was a meeting yesterday between the Transport Ministry, the operators, the transport operators, so GPRTU, some of the private operators. Also, earlier when the situation was at its peak, the ministry made available some buses to help with that. But in terms of policy, what can government do to make sure that this situation is solved once and for all?
Okay, so as I said, when you see government policy, especially when you pick the National Transport Policy, which was formulated in 2020 or 2021, you'd realize most of the things are not binding. They are just stated that we should do this, we should do this, but should isn't a binding, it's not a binding clause. We shall, and then we give timelines, we put people responsible for it. But that's before this interview, I just came across a brief statement I would want to read, and it says that the way citizens move around a city is not determined by infrastructure alone. It's also determined by like a broader socio-technical system, which includes the fiscal networks, policies, planning, procurement, like almost everything. So it's not just about policies. It's about making sure that all these things mentioned are working. Sincerely, Accra's transport problem goes just beyond policies. It's transport policies, but it also includes failure in our land planning system. Given that we've not planned our cities in a way to be even inclusive of other transports like cycling, like walking, like scooter use, right? So even if I want to cycle to even beat the traffic, there is no dedicated lane for me. Even as a pedestrian, I'm sharing the route with, let's say, motorbikes. I'm sharing the route with traders, hawkers. So it's a complete chaos of a system. What do we need to do? It's simple. It requires political and institutional commitments. Let's see.
Right.
Political and institutional commitments. It's been so long. Every government goes to bed with these private driver unions and you say we are coming to an agreement, you should reduce fares. But mind you, these people are business people and they would always do whatever will give them profit. So if we have buses
Right.
and we want to alleviate the situation of citizens, then we need to put in these buses to alleviate the situation of citizens.
Right. Manuel, thank you very much for your time. Manuel Mensah is a transport researcher helping us understand what government policies could help solve the situation in terms of transport challenges we're having here in the capital.